Hola everyone, happy Day of the Dead was observing, and been wanting to do this movie for at least a year, but now that it's back on D+, I thought I would take this trip into their hole once again, and give you a talk about 2014's Book of Life, directed by George Gutierrez and produced by Guillermo del Toro, who also has a supporting voice in the film. So let's begin. Which managed to break even on its $50 million budget, making around $100 million worldwide, and being highly acclaimed in the process, is another Day of the Dead influenced animated film, where a young man named Manolo, voiced by Diego Luna, of future Andor fame, and the woman he loves, who's voiced by Zoe Saldana, is also the object of affection by his friend and rival, voiced by Channing Tatum. After a freak accident gets him in the land of the dead, he has to prove himself and his family worthy of not only honoring their lineage, but also be able to follow his own path. And in many ways, it's the reverse of Coco, and it works a different way. Whereas the underlying theme of Coco is rediscovering the value music has in one's life, this film is about how convincing others about the value music already has, especially in the denouement in the Land of the Dead. And that also has a unique take on one of my favorite conflicts of late, the whole idea of tradition versus individualism. Um, do you who want to forge a path laid out before you, or make your own? And if so, how do you do so in such a way that your family can be proud of you? Yeah. Visually, it's a very distinctive film, and all three of its settings, like the real world, which is a framing device in a history museum, and the world where it takes place on the surface, which where most of the story is, and the Land of the Dead. The last two, definitely, even though it's CGI, they all give the appearance of the woodcut figurines, the way that they're painted, the color scheme, the way they move, and I can definitely tell that George is fingerprints all over this. I mean, I'm still trying to remember if he's still working with Sandra Kia, but given how the two co-create El Tigre, I definitely know that he is very proud of his culture, and it shows in all of his work, and definitely when I first heard about this movie, even though I get a chance to see it theatrically, I'm all a film celebrating the Mesoamerican culture and one of the traditions, a unique way of looking at death and the afterlife and forgiveness. Sold. Top already mentioned, the cast is simply fantastic. It also includes the likes of Ron Perlman, and it includes who's Danny Trejo, Kate Del Castillo, Esmo Huerte, Christina Applegate. We have Hector Elizondo, who Ana de la Reguera, Gretel Griffin, and and even George himself. Also appears in, and there is Sanchez, Esmain, and Carmelo, the ancestor. I especially like the supporting roles played by Carlos Alazraqui, who, on top of being the voice of Rocco Monker's All Life, is also people of a certain age might know him best as the original voice of Spyro the Dragon, as well as being the role of Junior Reno 911. Yeah, it's definitely a one that wears its lineage on its sleeve, and every actor, her her definitely gives it the all here, and I'm really glad that people keep discovering this film year over year, whether or not they actually are of the descent featured there of Mesoamerican descent either. So definitely, I'm never pass up a chance to show it to someone or tell them about it. And I've been waiting for one for nearly a whole year, and now it is technically the beginning of the Day of the Dead, and will be until tomorrow. that time is upon me. I'm not going to get too into it, but I will say this. The film is an hour and 40 minutes of just pure joy, especially liking how Ice Cube and his portrayal of the spirit of land of the Candlemaker, yes, and how that plays a part in the story. I mean, traditions and how no one ever truly goes to remember them. Especially a resonant message with me and others who have lost people they cared about in the past. I mean, and I'm not trying not to get too heavy, and I won't go over every single thing that happens in the movie. But I will say this: another constant between the two films is that sometimes if you lose someone that close to you, the hardest thing to do is forgiving yourself, and makes it such a, that's to me one of the main factors that makes such a great story. And I'll definitely be back tomorrow with my next Andor vlog. Have a couple other videos planned, and relating to video games this week, and other ones I have in mind. I wanted to do last month, but I had to bump to this month as well. That'll be all for now. And hey, write your own story. Take care, everyone. Buenos noches. Mm-hmm.